Oh my gosh, you guys, do you remember when The Bachelor used to be about falling in love and relationships and gave you that glimmer of hope that you could find your one true love? Not this season. Nope. I am salty, I am pissed, and we're gonna be back to talk about it right after this.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Sorry, I have to get that off my chest. You guys, oh my gosh, if you're watching this, I hope you already saw the finale. I hope you're here to chat with us. We're in the chat room, we're live chatting with you guys. It was such a disastrous finale. I'm your host, Christina Zias. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow me across social media at Miss Zias, and I have the best panel with us tonight. Sterling.
Hey guys, I'm Sterling Cates. You can find me everywhere at Sterling Cates, and I'm also in the chat. I'm cracking up at all of y'all's comments, so please keep them coming.
Good. Please read them off. We need to hear about them. Guys, I'm your host, Christine Alexis. You can find me all over social media at Christine Bean.
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel, and check out my blog and podcast, sextingandthecity.com.
And in the booth tonight, Jeff in the house.
What up, Jeff? Guys, man, what a finale.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Too much.
So you guys, we're obviously going to get into the entire episode, but before we do, support for this podcast comes from ABC, which is presenting American Idol. You guys know about American Idol. I mean, like, it's only been on the air for how many years before? But this is the first season, and the singing competition that started it all now has a new home on ABC. Yeah. The journey to find the next great American singing sensation is about to begin, and there's superstar judges like Luke Bryan, Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and of course, host Ryan Seacrest. So join them all in the search to find the next, I love the music, the next American Idol, which premieres this Sunday, March 11th at 7 Central Time on, of course, America's network, ABC, which brought us tonight's episode of The Bachelor.
My goodness.
You guys.
I'm salty. Just gonna go.
You know what? I feel like my heart's kind of pounding and racing from it. And I think I'm just so mad because this entire season, obviously, we all started off being like judgmental about Arie. No one really liked him. And then, you know, I came around because I was like, okay, out of all the past Bachelors, I really, truly believed.
You did like Arie.
Yeah, I just believed he was really there for the right reasons. And I thought he wanted to find his wife and was so prepared for him to actually have a great love story we can believe in and be a successful Bachelor. And now I hate him.
Yeah.
Just quite frankly, I hate him.
I think,
what do you think?
Okay, I have lots of thoughts.
Okay.
And I'll start with saying, I think tonight was done all wrong.
For sure.
I think the first 2 hours were completely pointless. I don't even remember Lauren, which has been like the case this whole season.
Yep.
But like even the meeting his parents and that all of that stuff just felt so stupid. And then it finally got good when, you know, they broke up with Lauren and that sort of stuff. But so I feel like we wasted 2 hours, and then the last hour was just watching Becca cry, and that whole interaction shouldn't have been filmed in the first place. That is just so rude and disrespectful to Becca. I felt so bad for her. But of course it's good TV, but it's still just like not the right thing to do.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I know, you know, when you are having a relationship as the show is still going on, you're kind of obligated to keep the producers up to date on what's happening. However, being the Bachelor and considering you are off camera a lot of the time, you do have control to break up with your fiance off camera to show any bit of respect for her if you care about her at all. So the fact that he was like, no, let's turn this into an opportunity to get ratings high really bothers me.
But do you think that was him or it was ABC? Because I
He
feel
can
like
say
no.
a choice.
He can say no, yeah.
He can definitely
Yeah,
say no. Absolutely.
How many
So
times
do
are
we
they
think it was
alone?
him or ABC though, based on that reaction?
I think it was
I'm just
ABC
kidding.
because
I
they
think it was
knew that
definitely.
the season was pretty much garbage and they needed a way to like, unfortunately, use this girl's pain to bring in.
But not only
people.
that, I think it was ABC in all. Like, I don't think he obviously shouldn't have proposed, and I think that was the biggest thing. He proposed to Becca, and minutes before he told Lauren he loved her too, and said that morning that he wasn't sure what he was gonna do. I mean, that's terrible. I just can't imagine if they were together, Becca watching back this episode and feeling comfortable about her relationship if they were still together.
Yeah.
If I were her, I would be so insecure. I'd be like, okay, clearly you loved this woman. You weren't ready to make that decision, but you did. And I feel like that's something that, as the Bachelor, he's probably like pressured into doing. He probably was like, I need more time. And they're like, we're only in Peru for 24 24 more hours, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to propose.
He definitely should not have proposed to Becca right after telling Lauren that he loved her. And then also, he should have never agreed to filming his breakup with Becca when he knows that he's been in love with Lauren the whole time. It's just so disrespectful.
And not giving her any sense of warning, it really broke my heart to watch her walk in all happy, make jokes about their engagement ring, knowing what was coming. And the fact that this whole time she kept saying, get out, and the producer, all the camera people were in there, the producers were in there, Arie was in there. Like, that's just, there's no respect for her. It made me so mad.
When have they ever documented their life after the proposal like that? Like when they go to these places?
They probably
That's
do.
never. I mean, Ben and Lauren had their own freaking show after the fact.
but that was
like
after.
that's different. Yeah,
but
that's different.
Not before the final roast.
However, I do think that producers probably set them up in these safe houses or whatever to go for their weekend getaways as a couple. I just think we don't ever see it because nothing really that
Happens.
interesting for TV happens. But this was the first time they're like, oh, we'll create a montage of their happy couple time together and then crush her.
You know what really bothers me about this whole situation is that, okay, don't hate me for saying this, but part of me kind of feels bad for Arie because you could tell when he's proposing to Becca that he was really in love with Lauren. And I just think that he was so nervous to make the wrong decision. And I think that he let his family's words really impact him when he truly knew how he felt and who he thought he could choose. I mean, he kept saying like he had this undeniable love for her, but Becca made sense. Like, that's so unromantic. Do you know what I mean?
It is really unromantic. Like, I just check off some boxes for you on paper. I'm not the woman that you're actually deeply in love with.
Right.
Well, she has a flexible schedule, guys.
No, guys, this is what I was talking about earlier. The whole time it hasn't been romantic. He just kept saying he wants a wife with a flexible schedule that makes sense. And everyone's like, that's just what some people want. No. It doesn't work out. Exhibit A, Becca.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole time he had a crush on, or was deeply in love with silent Lauren B.
I just want to know, like, at this point, I mean, I'm sure we'll see tomorrow with his reaction and with Becca's. I just want to know for him if it was worth it. The flack that he would have gotten from ABC for not having a proposal ready right away, or what's happening right now. Because he literally could have avoided all of this.
By not proposing?
Just by not proposing.
Right.
What's the worst you could, I mean, that was ABC's fear with casting Peter, probably in the end that he wouldn't. So I'm sure there was even more pressure
definitely.
to go through with it. But honestly, at this point, if I were Arie, I would have rathered either getting sued or something, or breach of contract, whatever, than to go through this, because his name is going to be dragged in the mud for forever at this point.
Sorry, go on. I just want to say, I do think that in that moment, even though he was probably so confused, he probably was just hoping he was making the right decision.
Right, just seeing what happened.
And again, I do think in the beginning of this and throughout the journey, he really does want to find a wife. Like, I still do believe that. I think that he just didn't know.
He wants the easier choice, which is what he made in the end. Anna Heck in the live chat says JoJo Fletcher tweeted saying the same thing about filming on the weekend getaways after the show. She said that never happens, and that should have been a red flag.
So that should have been a red flag for Becca.
Yeah, or just like,
She didn't know.
Yeah, but how's she supposed to know that
You
that's
don't even
not
know that
normal?
was like part of the process.
Oh my gosh, and that really makes you wonder how long he's been planning doing this,
break it
because
up,
this isn't an overnight thing. And so if he was honestly sleeping next to this woman every weekend getaway they had and filming all these things, knowing he was going to do that, that makes me sick.
That does make me sick, for sure.
I want to know what his conversation with Lauren was
Right.
that Becca
On the
brought
phone,
up.
yes.
Yeah, I want to know more about what that was about, and I'm assuming that's what we'll hear about tomorrow night.
I want to know about that, and I also just feel for her because it was very obvious from their conversation that it wasn't the first time his insecurities about their relationship post-proposal had been brought up, and it seemed like she had been doing a lot to reassure him still that she was the right choice. I would be so unbelievably heartbroken. Like, I went through this whole competition for you to choose me, and then after the fact, I'm still kind of persuading you that this was the right idea.
Seriously.
Like,
also, after going through that process and knowing that he was in love with two women, I would not be secure enough in that relationship to be okay with my fiance making a phone call to his ex, because my first thought would be, why? What's the point for this phone call? Also, if she wasn't in the room, who knows what he said to her?
Right.
If he said he was leaving Becca to her, it's so many thoughts go through my mind about that phone call, and the fact that Becca was cool enough to let him do that, still just trying to be okay and make this process work with them, it just, it rubs me the wrong way.
What kills me is that he just seems so unapologetic.
Yeah.
Like, he does not, I know he says he feels bad, and I don't know how else you handle this situation. But he was almost like, I kind of warned you. Like, screw you. What do you mean? Like, you've said you've been conflicted. Like, you got down on one knee and proposed to me.
It seems pretty certain.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is, because also you're having these issues that not regular people have, so she doesn't know what other couples have gone through going through this process. She probably thinks, oh, maybe this is the after effect of being in love with two women on the show. Maybe Ben Higgins went through it. She doesn't know. So she's just trying to deal with it the best way she knows how, which is to talk through it and communicate. So it doesn't mean that she's thinking, oh, this is a red flag. You were on a dating show that no one could predict like what the outcome of that would be or how you would be emotionally dealing with it.
One thing that stood out to me that Arie kept saying was that like the window of time to go back to Lauren seemed like it was closing for him, and that's why he wanted to have this conversation with her now. And it just made me see, like, it makes me think about that phone call. Like, did she give him some glimmer of hope? Like, I still have feelings for you, but you need to end this now type thing. Because that to me is like, where did that sense of urgency come from?
If he had just a small glimmer of hope, like why did he wait that long? He should have ran out of the house when Becca asked him to the first time.
I feel like he definitely had some sort of reassurance from Lauren during that call that like, hey, if you end things with Becca, there's a chance for us.
For sure.
And I think that's why he felt so comfortable going into that conversation with Becca. But even knowing that, he should have left when she told him to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Just, like, watching him just linger around the house and not leave when she said so, it was just
we
like,
all were
I wanted to
like,
drop kick
go,
him.
just
Yeah.
go.
And also the way he was like blocking that hallway, almost like she had no escape. She really, oh my gosh, it was terrible. Gosh, I just can't imagine a producer being there filming this being like, oh yeah, guys, like this is gonna be great for ratings. You know what I mean? Like this is someone's feelings.
Yeah, I do think, remember that part where he went outside?
Yeah.
I think a producer talked to him and told him to go back in 100%, but he still had the choice whether or not to listen.
Right.
So why is everyone doing this to this poor girl who's had this off-camera relationship with her fiance for a month now? This is all coming down on her all at once. She had no idea. At least while you're on The Bachelor, you know there's other women left.
Well, and I couldn't help but feel bad that, like, Becca had already dealt with an overly persistent guy. Like, we saw Ross last episode, and so this is her second time dealing with a guy who can't take no for an answer. I was like, man, and she's grown on me a lot, and especially despite having to go through all of this. We'll talk about Bachelorette, but...
Okay, Stormy Woods in the chat roll just said Arie wanted Becca to absolve him from being an asshole. And that is so accurate. That's exactly what happened. He knew that he was going to get thrown under the bus for this, going to get like slayed across America, and he wanted her to be like, you know what, Arie, it's okay. Like, I'm just so happy for you that you know that you're making the right decision to go after Lauren now. Like, I'm okay with it. I think that's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's why he was adamant about getting her to sit down and talk with him one more time.
To get him off the hook for what he's doing. Yeah. I am so glad she didn't give him that.
Same,
Me
100%.
too. I think it was A or B though. I think he either wanted that or he wanted her to full on attack him, because if she did that, then he could still kind of play the victim. But she was so calm and just kind of crying to herself and not attacking him and just telling him to leave in a peaceful way that he had nothing to work with after, to be like, oh, poor me, nothing.
Do you guys think that she had any idea this was coming?
No. No, did you see when she was going into that house, she honestly probably thought like, oh, this is so normal that they're filming all of our couple weekend getaways. Just another one for the books. Look at my engagement ring. And then he gets in. And probably once he sat down, she had a weird feeling about it. But once someone's proposed to you, a serious talk doesn't necessarily mean breakup. So I think no matter what he said in its like full capacity came as a shock.
Yeah, he could have been like, I want to have a serious talk with you. I actually really need you to move to Scottsdale. It could have been like something really serious about their relationship. I don't think she saw that it was like the end.
Right. Do you guys think that Lauren needed this closure and wanted everyone to see what was going on? Because someone in the chat roll said, ooh. I know, it was good. He's like, I feel like he dumped Becca like that just to look good when Lauren looked back at the show. And I don't know if he did that purposely.
Does it make him look good?
I mean, it makes him
Lauren
look good to Lauren.
Yeah. She's is saying he's still in love with her.
Because he didn't even say to Becca during that whole conversation with his fiance at the time that he was in love with her, nor that he had any feelings left. He completely left out any leftover feelings or anything for Becca and only focused on his feelings for Lauren. He did not say he was going to still be in love with her, that he would be hurt. When she asked if he felt that he would still be half in with Lauren.
Right.
He immediately said no further explanation.
Well, that looks good for Lauren.
Exactly,
Lauren's
just
watching that.
Lauren.
Yeah, exactly.
As cruel sounding as that was and felt, in a way, I think I would have rathered him do that though. Just because when he immediately said I love you back to Lauren during that breakup, that bothered me. So I know it probably would have bothered me here just the same to see him flip-flop and then flip-flop again.
I wouldn't want him to say I love you to Becca like he did to Lauren before he proposed to Becca.
I honestly just rather him have done that, but like we said, just leave when she asked him to, because that's such a heartbreaking moment, and you already have cameras around, you can't even process it, and that person is just hovering over you and not letting you like organically just react.
Yeah.
I just think that if he would have said, not that it would have made it okay at all, but if he would have been like, Becca, I cannot believe I'm doing, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't believe I'm breaking your heart. I just want you to know how incredible you are. Just was so, apologetic and like genuine.
Yeah.
Because he didn't feel genuine at all.
Like, he didn't have to say I love you, but he could have been genuine 100%. in his approach.
Ashley in the chat, this is a good point. She said that Arie referred to his time with Becca as hanging out. And so he said, the longer I hang out with you, the less of a chance I have with being with Lauren.
Ew.
So it's just like,
That's
okay, so
just
our
mean.
engagement is just us hanging out?
Yeah, that's mean.
And
I need to take a deep breath.
I don't think he like held their relationship in the same regard as Lauren's.
He didn't.
I mean, it's obvious, but like, that was your fiance. Like, you can't understate that at all.
Another thing that I kind of wish I saw, because we saw this was completely unedited, uncut, so we thought we'd get a more genuine Arie, who would get a little more candid. I was surprised there wasn't one moment while you're breaking someone's heart who you've been spending all this time with that he didn't say to the camera people, can we just have like 1 minute to talk?
Right.
Not once when it's completely unedited. He doesn't do that one time in that vulnerable moment. If this is so real, he just seems like a dick.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a dick or he's an idiot?
A dick? What lack of...
I hear Kristina a little bit. Like, maybe he just felt so complicit to production.
Yeah, I think so.
And you know what? It does kind of make, the more you think about it, the more you kind of think ABC, shame on you a little bit.
Yeah.
I 100% think that.
I think it's equal parts ABC and him to blame for like how this went down. It's just not tasteful. I mean, I know it's reality TV, but Becca's a human being, and that like just really sucks that we watched like an hour of her being heartbroken.
But you guys, this show is so notorious for creating villains and slandering people and dragging their contestants through the mud. And I just think that this is like typical of ABC to do this. Not saying that Arie is off the hook. Like, what he did is wrong for sure, but I'm sure he is so pressured to propose, to break up with her on air. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what they're telling him? I know people probably like hate me for saying this, but if you watch Unreal, you start to believe and realize the manipulation that can go on behind the scenes.
You're right. And like, you do think, we don't know, and like, for those who are listening, like the five of us live in LA, and we know how manipulative TV producers can be. They could have been threatening contracts. Like, we just don't know what tactics they were using to push him. And again, I don't want to absolve him of any of this, but it's the fact that this aired shows that ABC has no guilt about what happened.
100%. And also Chris Harrison the entire time saying, before it cut to every single commercial break, he kept saying how it's unedited. Like,
yeah. What do you guys think about A, this being filmed in the first place? B, it being the raw, unedited, whatever, or like, would you have rather it been like a little package that they put together, or do you think it shouldn't have been filmed at all?
I'm glad it was filmed, obviously, because we got to see what happened. And I feel like it's better for Becca in the end because people get to really rally for her. Yeah. Not that they wouldn't have otherwise. But I just think it's dirty on ABC's point of view. You know,
dirty's a good word for it. And just watching the camera people run around the room, chasing her with the cameras, watching Arie go all around the house, it just made you feel sick to your stomach.
And you know what bothers me about this too? And again, not that Arie should ever be off the hook, but it's screwed up what ABC does to their leads too. Because they're coming on, they're signing up for this, and they're making a fool of him.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to, they could have gone through this the way they did with Jason Mesnick and did after the final rose. And yes, Arie would not have looked good, but they completely humiliated him. Don't you think?
I think everyone is humiliated in this ending.
Definitely.
Especially Becca.
Both of them, for sure.
It's just so hard because now as a woman, like, she's always going to have this footage to look back on, and America's going to have this footage to look back on. Like, I'm obviously more sympathetic to her in this situation than Arie because
Definitely.
Whatever, your assholeness has been documented over the last 10 episodes. But for Becca, like, I know ABC does this, like, you know, break you down and then build you back up type thing where I know after all of this hurt, I'm assuming, and a lot of fans are assuming, that Becca's going to get the Bachelorette treatment now, and then, you know, they're going to make it all, she's going to get her happy ending again. But it doesn't take away from the fact that we had this moment tonight, and everyone saw her at one of her lowest moments.
Why couldn't have Arie said, I'm so sorry for proposing to you and taking that moment away from you? Because I think that's a big thing.
As a woman, if someone robbed me of that to do me like that, I would hate them forever.
And then
Like,
right
I
after,
would hate
can
you.
we talk about how the fact when right after he proposed and she said yes, he's like, when are we going to start having babies? That was like,
Yeah, they actually talked about kids a lot.
Yeah, and he was all ready to go right after that.
Marlene said Mike Fleiss tweeted for viewers to remember that these are real people with feelings and to keep the hateful tweets in check. But seriously, who is he to talk? I mean, he allowed this insensitivity, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw a couple tweets from people saying that they actually did wish that this was edited. There was a big, you know, build up about it not being edited, but because it was so hurtful and felt so invasive, like a private moment that we shouldn't have been privy to.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying, like, you should have just shortened that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like at
well,
least for
I feel
her.
worse for Becca now. Like, I'm like more team Becca than I would be, I think, if it had been edited.
Real quick, I think we need to talk about another Becca, because Becca M right now is pretty much making a fool of Arie on her Instagram story. So if you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out.
And Twitter and Instagram.
So pretty much Arie has been sliding into her DMs on Twitter and Instagram and like making jokes and kind of teasing and I think flirting, right? I think it's safe to say.
It's flirting.
With her?
Yeah. That is no. That is testing the waters. Okay, here's my question: what other reason would you have to slide into your ex's DMs? I don't care what kind of ex she is from The Bachelor. It's still your ex, and you're still trying to start this new relationship with Lauren.
Yeah.
What reason would it be? And twice?
Do you think it?
What was the date on those DMs?
It's February 2nd.
February 2nd and
February
February 3rd.
So filming had already wrapped. This probably had already all happened, and you're still going out of your way to hit up
Right.
Becca.
When do you think is the timeline that this happened, that where he broke up with Becca K?
So
That's
Chris
what I'm a little
Harrison said he
confused
broke up with Becca K a few weeks after the engagement.
A month after.
So
Okay.
a month after.
So the show probably finished filming in what, October, November?
Yeah, early.
October probably, or early November probably.
So
they
probably
start end of September, right?
So I wonder if that means he's not with Lauren now. If
I
he's-
think they're together.
You think they're together?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what Lauren will think about him sliding into Becca's DMs.
I hope they're not together. Honestly, I kind of hope he ends up alone. I think he has a lot of self-discovery to do, not through another person. Do it on your own, and then meet someone when you actually know what the heck you want.
So you don't think that him and Lauren are together now, or you
If
just
they're
don't want them to
together,
be?
they're not going to last. I guarantee you. I will place money on this. This relationship is not going to the altar.
By the way, people are saying that they broke up in January.
Lauren and Arie?
Becca and Arie.
I think I think Becca and Arie.
Oh, gosh, so right when the show starts. So right when you have to start doing promo on your Instagram and act like you're so in love with this person. Ugh, that sucks.
Oh my gosh, that means they spent the holidays together as an engaged couple.
Oh, that's...
That's so bad.
Quick question for you ladies. If you were Lauren and you saw Arie did what he did, would you stay engaged to him?
I mean, he's confessing his undeniable love for Lauren. So if I were Lauren and who knows? I don't know. It's so hard to say because now the whole world hates your fiance.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do because it's a tricky situation considering he was dating multiple women throughout this entire process, and he was only given a month to date this other woman on her own, on his own, so it did give him time to change his mind, whereas it's not like he got engaged and married to her first and she was used to him having other women the whole time. And if he really does come out and do this on national television and is calling you, missing you, all of this, knowing he'll be so hated, maybe in a sick, twisted way it's romantic.
So you're into the whole like grand gesture thing that he's trying to do right now?
I'm saying maybe it could be romantic to Lauren is what I'm saying.
I think it could be romantic to Lauren. If I was
it could
Lauren
be.
watching this, and clearly she felt very strongly about their relationship. She was like, I thought she was going to be more heartbroken when he broke up with her. And I think she was mostly like shocked and so confused because I mean, he told her he still loved her, right? When he was breaking up with her. So, yeah, that's confusing.
Lauren was crying before the proposal. I feel like she knew it was coming, right? She seemed sad.
Well, this is just the most overcome with emotion I've ever seen her. Literally, this whole episode. She was very teary-eyed from their hometown or whatever, when meeting Arie's parents. From that point on, she was very, very emotional, so...
Well, plus it's not a huge bar, Christine. You go, this is the most emotional we've seen her. Oh, you having an emotion.
That's why it was so noticeable
I just feel like,
me.
in regards to your question, Jeff, like, ideally, the person that I'm with wouldn't be so indecisive about wanting to be with me. And so...
Very true.
I feel like they'll probably run into a lot of the same issues that Ben and Lauren, the other Lauren B, did, because he told both her and JoJo that he loved them.
Yeah.
So there's always that in the back of your head, like, oh, does he still think about that other person, or
I see some of the Ben and Lauren and JoJo triangle too, and that was my one thought, was I kind of feel like the reason Ben and Lauren B didn't work out was because there was always that JoJo jealousy.
Right.
Or just insecurity in general.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thought was maybe the grand gesture was his attempt to not have Lauren hold on to the bitterness that I think Lauren B held on to with Ben.
I agree with that.
But if we're looking at the personalities here, this Lauren was already someone that you had to reassure so much. Did he think that was going to stop after this?
Right.
I don't think so. And to answer your question, Jeff, I wouldn't be with him if I was Lauren, because I cannot accept being your second choice, like, after you've already proposed to somebody. I just can't, because I would thank you. Like, I get the premise of the show and having to choose and everything like that, but if you got down to the end, the nitty gritty, and you didn't choose me, please don't come back to me after. Yeah. Let the door hit you on the way out. I wish you the best, but I could never accept that. I would be exactly like how Lauren B was. Not in the sense of, like, just jealousy per se, but, like, how can you turn that off in the back of your head?
But I think that's why he is kind of doing this grand gesture, to be like, I mean, he's saying he clearly made a mistake, you know?
And seeing how unemotional he is towards Becca. I don't know. I get where Lauren, I guess, could be coming from, where seeing him, like, shut down Becca like that, not talk about his feelings, could make her feel like, oh, I was the one this whole time. And again, guys, she has said this entire time she reads his mind. So maybe when she was getting into the limo, she read his mind. He's like, I'm going to dump her in a month and come back for you. And she's like, cool. See you next time. I love you.
So are they going to take the cameras and do this whole raw, unedited thing with Lauren?
I think they have to.
I thought that's what we were going to see tonight, actually. I thought we were going to see both. Yeah, but So
we'll see that tomorrow.
They'll probably bring us along for the Lauren adventure tomorrow.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think they have to.
It'll be another hour of silence, but in a completely different way.
You know what I can't wait for? Lauren... They keep saying that, oh, it's editing. She's not that boring. Like, we will see live tomorrow night.
I want receipts.
I know.
Real.
Oh, goodness, you
guys. Well,
guys.
Arie even said that she was super quiet and shy.
Yeah, he did.
When he was talking to his parents.
So here's another question I have, if I can hop in. So we always talk on this show about, like, the intense moments that are hard to watch, but it's still great TV. Did you guys even enjoy this?
No, I don't think it was great TV.
No, it was cringeworthy.
It was a disaster.
I want to hear it. Yeah,
an absolute disaster.
Let us know in the comments what you guys thought, because I think the five of us seem to agree that this was not even produced in a way that was enjoyable.
It wasn't.
And also, you know what? It was spoiled because all weekend the press was talking about it. There was articles on People, Us Weekly. So I don't know. ABC just wanted so many viewers to tune in to see what happened that they kind of.
I think Arie was honestly trying to get ahead of. He did an interview where he was like, people are going to say I'm a monster. People are going to really give me a lot of shit for this. And I think he was just trying to, like, mentally prepare everyone and also, like,
damage control.
Yeah, damage control for sure.
And Jeff, people are saying I stopped watching. Those were private moments. This is just uncomfortable TV.
Silence was torture.
It crossed the line, so hard to watch. So.
It felt cruel. I felt sorry for her.
Yeah, it was like a car crash.
Worst
I could
finale.
look away, but it wasn't good.
My heart was just, like, breaking for her. I felt so... I would never want to be in that position.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I think it's safe
for it to be filmed and you've got, like, cameras being shoved in your face, it's different, like, when that happens behind closed doors, but then to also in the back of your head know that all of America is going to see this.
Wait, Cheyenne here said Peter and Rachel were a good way of showing a horrible breakup that's hard to watch. but that some people enjoyed watching because they felt invested. This was just sad and uncomfortable, and I think it's very accurate.
I completely agree. And one point I would like to make is it was so silent because Arie, A, refused to leave, but B, then didn't say anything, just sat there looking like a sad puppy dog. Like, just leave. Just
I felt
leave.
like he looked more sad for himself. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to leave because I'm going to look bad and insensitive. But I really don't
wasn't
know what to
even
tell
saying-
you because
yeah.
I don't feel bad because I have
Yeah.
to do what
'Cause
I'm
now we
doing
get
for me.
Lauren.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even
wanted
imagine
her
what you're
to
going
drop
through
kick
right
him
now.
so bad.
I know.
Well, guys, there's a People article out already that's saying that Becca broke her silence after Arie broke off her engagement, and she said that he's a good person. Do you want me to read the quote? I'm sorry. Yeah,
I need more.
Okay. Becca Kufrin is opening up about her heartbreaking split from Arie Luyendyk Jr. She said, "He's a good person. I don't think he's a monster and purposely did this to hurt me and make me feel this way, but it's just the result of his actions. At the end of the day, I don't think he thought through everything of how ending things with Lauren would be, how being engaged to me would be, and what breaking up with me and going back to her would be. I don't think he thought it through. But I don't think that he did it to maliciously break my heart."
Well, I think that's accurate.
That's a producer-fed line, I think, because she has hopes at this point of just being the Bachelorette. Absolutely. There's no way. No person would not be pissed at this point after what he put her through. That is 1,000%, I bet you, a producer-fed
Right,
line.
but he's not doing what he did to be malicious. And I think that's what she's saying. She's saying that, like, she's not, she's saying he's wrong in what he did, but it's just a result of the outcome of his feelings. Like, she's still saying he's kind of an asshole, but, like, he didn't mean to do it.
She's definitely upset. Like,
Yeah.
the article goes on that she did flat out say it was embarrassing the way he
Yeah.
broke up with me
Yeah.
with the full cameras and crew around. There was a better and more tactful way to do it, she says, of getting dumped on national television. A breakup is hard enough, and to have it all filmed and have to rewatch it and know that people all across the country are watching you get your heart broken is embarrassing. It's not fun, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It was a slap in the face.
Right,
Yeah.
so...
And so now she'll be Bachelorette.
Yeah.
That was like
Absolutely.
Mic
okay,
drop.
I'm done with it. Now I'm ready to find someone else who's hopefully hotter and more mature.
Do you all think that
She should get beat.
she'll be the Bachelorette?
Imagine.
At this point, I would be so mad if she wasn't.
Chat roll, what do you think?
100%.
Are you here for Becca as the next Bachelorette? I would be really pissed if she's not too. I feel
Who
like,
else would it be at this point?
imagine if they gave it to Tia.
Oh!
Oh my god.
No.
I have jitters
What do
just
you
thinking
mean?
about it.
Tia
Even-
from Arkansas.
Even Raven said in an interview that Tia would be better for Paradise than for Bachelorette.
She did?
In an interview, yes. So honestly, listen to Raven. It should be Becca for sure.
Well, hopefully, if that's the case, they'll announce it
tomorrow.
night.
I'm sure tomorrow. Last year it was a. Wait, did they announce Rachel last year at After the Final Rose? As
They
Bachelorette?
announced her before.
Yeah.
Before. Oh,
Because
right.
she was still on the
that's
show
why
when
it
they
was
announced
weird.
it.
Didn't
But
she
they
come
announced-
out?
But they announced JoJo
Oh, I might be
after the
confusing
Final
it.
Rose. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Nick was a weird one because he was super late. So you really never know when they're going to announce it. But I do think because it's a 2-night special and after what they put Becca through, I think it'll be announced tomorrow that she's Bachelorette.
Someone said if she wasn't dumped in front of the camera, she wouldn't be the Bachelorette. And that is sad, but probably true.
Not true, depending on how, it really depends on how she was in AFR.
Right, but this for sure, but you know what I mean? They gave her that platform.
Guarantees.
Yeah.
I want to see an unedited video of ABC pretending to tell her that she'll be the Bachelorette and then telling her that she won't be. the
But
Bachelorette.
she's not. Wow.
Guys,
that would be.
you are
just
cold.
That was
incredibly-
dark. That was dark.
Very dark.
I
Yeah.
thought of torture. What would be worse than this is watching an unedited date with Lauren B.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. and
Oh
so
wait, we
mean.
have to talk about how Lauren B brought up tonight that they had met in Dallas before.
Oh my
the
gosh.
show started filming. She was like, and you didn't remember that we met in Dallas? And I did a little digging, and it sounded like Lauren B had gone to one of his races in Dallas. I don't know when exactly, but it was a while ago. And apparently, she brought like a framed photo of them together
When she
in
got out of the
Dallas
limo,
when
right?
she got out of the limo.
Wait, what? Wait, my brain hurt. Wait, explain?
So
Yes,
whenever Lauren
exactly.
B got out of the limo the first night of filming, she brought a framed photo, presumably of them in Dallas together. They had met before, but he didn't remember meeting her before.
Wait, why did they take a picture together?
I think she just
Probably
went as a
fangirls on
fan.
him.
I think she's like a super fan.
That's so much worse. Oh, that made it so much worse for me.
Yeah, Christina Camille in the comments said Lauren B was a groupie.
Arie groupie? Like there's such
An
a
Arie
thing?
groupie. And so she went on the show, brought that picture. He said he didn't remember it. And then now they're engaged, apparently.
Interesting.
Wow.
What do y'all think, Lauren? How do you guys think she's gonna act after the fact?
Like tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Super happy, like everything's fine, but it's gonna hit the fan a few months.
I don't know. I think she has to be real and say how hurt she was and that she didn't want to take him back, because I think she's already gotten so much hate throughout the season. People think she's a doorknob. Like, no one.
She has, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she has to like really give America something to want to like root for her and Arie.
Performance.
Yeah, she needs to put on her performance.
Will they be the most hated couple in Bachelor Nation?
I know.
The most hated, questionable. People usually hate when he just picks the wrong choice to begin with. But now that it went this way, who really knows?
Because a lot of people don't really care about Rachel and Brian anymore. They still felt like she chose the wrong one. So I feel like they're going to hate them even more.
They felt that about JoJo and Jordan, and they're happy as ever. And Ben and Lauren broke up before they got together first. So I'm just saying.
So I don't know if this is true or not.
Oh, what?
But a little birdie told me, and this is like a pretty well-connected source.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure if it's true. So
Sterling.
everyone, if this isn't true, don't kill me.
But it probably is. But maybe
But
not.
it might not be true. But anyway, so apparently Crystal and Arie slept together on the show, which is why she called him a needle dick, because she had evidence accordingly. That's just what I heard. I'm not sure if that's exactly true or not, or just
Wow.
haters talking, but it's
When would
show
she
source.
have time to have done that?
Off camera anytime.
On their
if you
jet
watch
back.
Unreal,
Exactly.
there's always time.
yeah. There's plenty of time.
I mean,
I
that's
believe
not
that.
surprising to hear, though.
I just think that if I were Lauren and I were hearing all these things.
I'd hate him.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you're a pig.
Same.
Also, get out of Becca's DMs, you
DMs,
freak.
yeah.
For real.
You know what? This is when I feel like Becca's too young for him or he's too old for Becca. Like, why? If they were together, if he chose her and he was like so happy and in love with her and they were in love with each other, I'd been like, great. Age is nothing but a number. But for some reason, the idea of him on his computer, creepily like thinking about Becca and sliding into her DMs, just feels so dirty and
So
wrong.
true. It's like so teacher-student.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
Teacher.
what it is. It's
It's
like an
gym
uneven
teacher.
power balance. It's just weird, and it gives you the
Like
sorry.
CRGBs for sure.
It's like, saw your yearbook photo. You look great.
Yeah, it's like reminds me of my first 2-on-1 that I had. It's like, oh
One
my
thing
God.
I will say is I feel like seeing Arie's family, I have a little bit more of an understanding as to why he thought this was the way to handle everything. Because let's remember that every single member of his family only asked Becca about Lauren, which isn't a thing that we usually see on this show. So my point being, like, it seems like social awareness isn't like a super Luyendijk thing to have.
That is a very, like, insightful comment to make,
Touche.
Jeff.
Yeah, I agree.
That bothered me so much that they
Me
kept bringing up
too.
Lauren. I'm like, damn, is it because she went second or what? Because I don't think they would have asked Lauren as many questions about Becca. Or maybe they would have.
Maybe they
Who
would
knows?
have.
But
I mean, either way, I don't think that he would have chose Becca if his family didn't tell him to.
they did love her.
Yeah, but they also were like,
They also love Lauren too.
you'll be fine with either or. Literally, what
Yeah,
they were
that's
like,
true.
yeah,
really
whatever.
liked Lauren. She was like super into her.
And they just kept saying, I think Becca is better for your personality. But he could have been like, yeah, you know what? Like, she definitely fits the mold I'm looking for, and I think we could work. But for some reason, I have this undeniable love for Lauren. And they would have been like, okay, well, if you have an undeniable love for Lauren, you should choose Lauren. You know?
I think his dad's take was spot on. Like, Lauren was the easier choice and would be like
Becca,
a good
yeah.
do whatever type of partner, but Becca would challenge
Oh,
him
yeah.
more and be a little more engaging. That's what his dad said, not me.
His dad also said, I'm good with either choice.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Talk about a dagger. I would have been like,
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's what Becca said too,
Okay.
right?
yeah. Like,
Oh, man. Guys, I can't even imagine what tomorrow's going to be like.
I'm a little upset that we're having to watch this show for 5 hours to figure out what happened, but it's okay. I'm here with
milking
it.
it.
I'm committed.
Are you guys even looking forward to tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I just love that ABC's like, finally, they're not staying together when he proposed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good episode, but I'm just over this season, honestly. I'm over Arie for sure.
I'm over Arie, but I'm so excited to see them all face each other because the three of them are sitting down.
God,
Feel bad for Becca.
Feel so bad for Becca.
Like, how are they gonna make Becca get dressed up again and go on air?
Oh, she'll look even hotter tomorrow.
I know, but like that's just
Getting paid to be there, you
wrong.
know that, right?
Yeah, what you think so?
Yeah, they get paid to film after the final rose.
I wonder if she could demand certain prices.
I hope so.
Because, or is it in their contract where you have to attend after the final rose? I would assume it's in the contract if you're signing up for it.
You get invited because like not all of the girls will be there, you know?
Right.
But for a women tell all, you have to go, yeah?
Yeah.
And I feel like after the final rose, if you are proposed to, that's probably in your contract that you have to show up.
Yeah.
Lauren's like, I don't want to. I'm going to stay home.
Imagine being Lauren's parents watching this. I feel like that would kill me. If I were Lauren and my parents saw Arie.
And they're already so protective.
Exactly.
Becca should show up in all those clothes that he bought her the first day.
Oh, the Louboutins, the earrings.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least she got something out of it.
I know, she didn't get to keep the ring, but she got to keep thousands of dollars of dresses, a pair of Louboutins, and earrings.
Can we also talk about how amazing she looked at the very end? Like she was slaying that dress. Like she looks so much better off without him.
She changed her hair.
Holy cow.
Key sign of a breakup.
Yeah.
Wait, people are Venmoing Becca money? What are you guys talking about in the
People in
comments?
the chat roll
what?
are saying that they're Venmoing Becca money. What?
For her grievances? What? For what?
I don't know. We're waiting. Chat roll, tell us quicker.
I got a bill due this week. What's up?
I know.
I know.
I have to get dumped on national television, Christine.
I feel like there's like being a fan and there's like being a fan, and this might be crossing a little bit of a line.
And then, oh my gosh, someone said, what was her mascara? It stood the test of tears.
It truly
It
did.
truly did.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we'll be back to discuss what happens on tomorrow's episode, tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. But before that,
Yeah, before that, we just want to tell you guys about our girl, Maria Menounos' podcast that she has. So if you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, we have got the podcast for you. I do. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career and relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you never had. She's like that for so many of us here.
Yeah.
So just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Oh, great. And this is free too, so there you go. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let her know that the Bachelor After Show sent you there.
Yes.
And so yeah, Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition. Check it out.
and you guys, while you're there on iTunes, make sure to give us 5 stars, leave a comment, and rate our Bachelor After Show as well. Guys, it's been a crazy season.
I know.
Christine, Sterling, you guys won't be here tomorrow night.
That's
unfortunately,
right.
so we will miss you.
I'm gonna miss you guys, and I'm gonna be having to figure out how to watch this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
No.
Please text us while you are watching it.
Yeah,
though.
definitely.
We want thoughts.
Yeah, and to everyone who's been like DMing and tweeting us and keeping us up to
Yes.
date, sending us people articles and interviews, we love you guys. Thank you for doing that. Like, it warms my heart to know how much we're all emotionally invested.
I know. It really makes
in
my
this.
day.
It
too.
does. I'm
And
like, oh.
You guys are the best of sliding into our DMs, giving us stories, but also being respectful of spoilers.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
appreciate that
Thank
so
you.
much. You like build up this hype. You know we're on West Coast time, so it makes it even more exciting to watch the show, knowing that you're there with us.
Yeah, I've had someone DM me from Toronto, like watching.
Okay.
I was like, okay, girl.
International.
Yes.
We love you guys so much. So thank you so much for tuning in. Sterling and Christina won't be here. Where can they find you guys?
You guys can find me everywhere on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Cates.
And Christine?
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Christine Ween.
You guys can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram and Twitter, and check out my blog sextingandthecity.com.
And Jeff?
you guys can find me online at Jeffrey Seagram. I feel like I want to apologize to the Lulian Dykes for shading them earlier. I know that was probably their first time with the reality TV cameras, but I just had to make that observation. Anyway, guys, it's been so much fun. Thanks for letting me chime in here and there and being your representative male on the panel. It's been an honor.
And you guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Renee and I will be here.
Renee.
I know. Wait, I'm from Jersey. You do know that, right? It comes out sometimes.
You've never said my name like that.
Renee? Is that how I said it?
That's great.
Renee and I will be here tomorrow night to discuss what really goes down after the final rose. So thank you guys. You can follow me across social media at Miss Zias and at MissZias.com. See you guys tomorrow.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Views expressed herein are those of the host only, do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.